about 4.5 years after my daughter was born, I'm doing something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Throwing away this diaper towel. Didn't even clean it one last time. No one's gonna want it. It's disgusting and garbage. And now it's really garbage. And now I'm done with diapers. Now, that doesn't mean there might not be an accident in pants, but I'm done with diapers, and that's wild. And it took a while, but it still feels wild. So I'm doing this Moonlight Market tomorrow. It's like 5 o'clock today. I have a little bit of time to work on it tomorrow, but I've got the child watching television so that I could like kind of organize my thoughts and stuff. And one of the things, I have like a big pop-up gazebo thing that some neighbor was getting rid of. I've never had one. I know they're expensive. I've never really needed one. Back when I did caricatures, I thought I should have one, but it just never worked out. And when I do shows now, 99.9% of the time they're indoors. And if they're not, usually I don't need a covering, or it's provided. But this show, I'm like, well, it's a little bit in the sun, but maybe I can get away with it. But then at night, it'd be good to be able to hang lights from there. So I'm like, okay, I have one, I better use it. And then I'm like, how much space do I have? And I couldn't find it anywhere in the documentation. But there was a group chat, and I asked, and they said, 10 by 10. I'm like, great. And somebody even said, like, the same size as your Easy Up, which I guess is a standard pop-up covering tent gazebo thing. The one I have is 13 by 13. Super deluxe, won't fit. So on the one hand, well, now I don't have to worry about that. But on the other hand, I'm like, so what is my setup gonna be? Hence this. So, oh good, the pen doesn't work. So of course, this is just flawless. 10 by 10. I have an extra 6 by 6, a 6-foot table, 6 by 4, whatever. Something like, I'll put one here, one here. I know that this is gonna be a front area, and these I'm not sure what's gonna be here. Other vendors, maybe. Same here, I'm not sure, but I know this will be like an opening. And then I was gonna put the backdrop kind of catty corner, but maybe it makes sense to have it here and have an opening. I don't know. Do I want a chair? I don't know. I'll have lots of display space. I can put my 2 racks here. I realize I need 3 tablecloths because I usually have one for the backdrop, one here. I might have 3. I am woefully unprepared for this. Oh, hi there. I always set up these shots like, it'll be interesting if like I'm closing them, but I don't have a camera person and everything's, anyway, you know what I'm doing. It's sort of fake but real. I do have to close those, but instead of just closing them, I go, okay, wait, don't close them. I go like this now, okay. Now look forward, like you're not looking at the camera. Oh, hi. Anyway, yesterday, I can't remember if I said this, but there was like crunch time craziness at work for my significant other, and that was supposed to be over, and instead it's not over, and it's worse or just as bad, and so they've been pulling all dayers, so I've been pulling all dayers a little bit into the night, and yesterday I once again was sort of on duty from the moment I woke up and until they go to sleep, the little one. And it wasn't so bad. I spent some time at my mom's house, and it was a nice day, and I felt healthy, and just, it was okay. I didn't get a lot done, but it was okay. Today hasn't been horrible, but not as good. I'm on duty all day. Saw my significant other for like a few minutes at dinner time when they came out and ate and left before we were even done. And I'll be taking the little one to sleep. Not to sleep with me, but to her. I'll be watching her until she falls asleep. There we are. And I went to her gymnastics today, and I did get some work done on that Power Rangers. Rough, but layout, whatever. Like, it's not quite pencils, but it's more than a sketch. I guess it's a sketch, but anyway, not as much as it's difficult because I got work done, but it's sort of like 45 minutes of like, what, you need me? Oh, okay, hi, yep, let me take a picture for family, okay, and then sort of drawing in between, so it was a non-zero amount I got done, but that's all I got done today, and yeah, I'm also getting ready for the show and whatever. It's not as good as yesterday, but it's fine. I'm bringing our emergency generator to power stuff. I'm gonna bring these 2 ring lights that I have that are usually used for YouTube. And I have this desk lamp that clamps onto the side of a drawing table that I'm gonna bring. Might be too bright, I don't know. I even thought about bringing that floor lamp, but I think that's too much. And I'm bringing this extra box of prints just to leave in the car because of the wonderful things he does. So even though I had my car mostly loaded from the last show, I had to basically unload it to fit the 2 tables in. I put them in there, and then I actually decided to bring this moving blanket, which I have from when we moved. It'll help stuff from sliding around on top of it, but I also brought it to put down because I think I'm just gonna be on dirt, and I'm gonna have some electronic stuff like my heater and my power pack and stuff. I'm bringing one chair. I thought about bringing two, but nobody's coming with me, and I don't want to really encourage people to sit next to me. That's happened to me at conventions before, and it almost always is terrible. Trying to combine techniques of the kid is being difficult. We were supposed to go to the comic store and the game store, the comic store for her. I mean, not that I don't like comic store, but she was gonna get a comic, and the game store because I need to bring them more prints and pick up some money from prints they sold, which is great. But she's been taking forever, and she doesn't need to go to the bathroom, then she does, and then she's in there forever, she's washing her hands, and I'm doing that thing where I'm trying to be like, all right, I'm just gonna let her do it. I'm just gonna do my own thing, hope nothing too terrible goes wrong. I don't think she's gonna hurt herself, but like soap all over or something like that. And I've been slowly loading the car, which I thought I was gonna have to make a mad dash to do later. So I'm trying to slowly get things done, even though I feel this sense of urgency and like falling behind and panic, which I always feel during shows, but especially because I haven't had a chance to prepare at all because of the work schedule of my significant other, which, you know, affects me. And, but I'm mostly loaded. Now, everything isn't organized the way I want in terms of prints. I probably have more than I need. And I still gotta figure out how to set up, but my plan is if my mom gets here at 2, I'm gonna leave almost immediately. Get there around 2:30. I want to dump everything out into my spot, then go get a coffee. There's a coffee shop I like right there. And then say like by 3:30, I'll be just in my spot. I have an hour and a half to just set it up and futz around with it while I drink a coffee. That's my plan. I don't know if that's enough time. I'm trying not to stress about it, but she's doing, I don't know what right now. She should have finished washing her hands 5 minutes ago. She's still up there. And I'm bringing lights out to the car.
I can't open the door. It's nice and soapy.
Why is the door soapy? Okay, let's take a look. I think the music's coming from over here, actually. I'm sitting outside of a Press Espresso coffee shop near our house. We went to the Hungry Dragon. I didn't really get any footage there, but we're in downtown now. I was going, just the day's gotten away from me. Luckily, the car's mostly packed because I'm gonna need to leave very soon. And she needed lunch, so we're getting some lunch here. And then I got my coffee now. Maybe I'll get a coffee later tonight if I want one. Wow, the sky looks awesome. But yeah, we're just eating lunch here now, and I'm gonna go home, and then my mom's gonna be there, and then I'm gonna go shortly after. Wow, the worst thing, it's vibrating, everything is terrible about this angle. But I'm driving, and this is my attempt to be safe, and whatever. I'm on my way, there, that's better. I'm on my way to the market. I should be getting there about 3. I wanted to get there at 2:30. Whatever, stuff happens. I had a list, always make a list, because when I'm ready to leave, even though I thought the car was packed, I looked at my list and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on here that I didn't pack, including like extension cords and other things. Now, there are 2 things on there that a couple things that I didn't really succeed at. I had weights for things on tables. I don't really have that. I don't know what that is. I hope the stuff I put on the tables will hold the tablecloths down and nothing will blow away, but I don't really have anything to stop it. I also had put a couple strings of Christmas lights, but I didn't want to dig them all out. I found 1 string Christmas lights on the top of this one box and grabbed them. I also wanted like not traditional rainbow ones, but like white or green or something that didn't look too Christmassy. Failed at that. Grabbed 1 string of the most stereotypical Christmas lights you could find. I may or may not use them. The other thing, oh, sandbags or weights. So I brought those 2 big bricks. That's what I used. I have this big pumpkin guy that I got from Home Depot for Halloween. And I used it to hold that down. I have a bunch of those. They're like pavers or something. They're used for something else, but that's what I use them for. So they're like 2 pounds each or whatever. No, they gotta be more than 2 pounds. They're heavy. They're very heavy. And every time I pick them up and put them down, I cut my hands up. So they're not great. But the organizer is loaning me a pop-up tent, which is great. I assume it has sandbags or whatever it needs to hold it down, because it'd be weird if she assumed I had them when I didn't have the tent. So we'll see how that goes. These are for my backdrop, which is 99% of the time inside. I've only had it outside once, and it did get blown around quite a bit because it's essentially a sail when I put the art on it. So this one is a new one that I got as a recommendation from Nick Pino, who's another Godzilla artist in the Bay Area, where I'm not, but I was. And it is much better. It's got 2 poles. It's got flat instead of a tripod. It's pretty stable and heavy. But I brought these to throw on the bottom of each one of those just in case. I wish this show was not today. I haven't done a show like this I haven't done this kind of show like almost ever, maybe once before. where it's not a comic show or a horror show or a Godzilla show or a comic store, or, you know, it's sort of like when I went there a month or two ago when they had it, there was one other artist that had more like anime, manga type stuff. A lot of makers. It's like a maker fair, you know, candles and rocks and a lot of essential oils and a lot of, you know, new age stuff. But a few people who were crafters or artists of some sort. Generally speaking, that was mostly what was there. There's bands and stuff. I found out I'm gonna be right near the stage where the bands are, which I hope theoretically is nice because it'll be entertainment and people will be there, but I hope it's not like blowing my ears out where I can't even talk to my customers. We'll see how that goes. I've had that when I did caricatures at birthday parties and bar mitzvahs and stuff, where I never wanted to be next to the DJ because it was just like exploding my heart and I couldn't talk to the people in front of me that I needed to talk to do the caricature. That being said, yeah, I was looking forward to this, even though it's a kind of a challenge, and I also kind of expect it to not go well. I kind of expect to be sitting there for a few hours and not sell much. The table was $60, which is more than double what it was 2 months ago. It was $25. I think it's a newish organizer, and I think that was her kind of just trying to get people to jump on price, and now this is the regular price. I hope it doesn't go up again. But for $60, half hour from my house, one day, just a couple hours, I'm like, well, if I sell $60, I break even, not counting time. I feel like, see, my ability to perceive all this, all my knowledge is like skewed and out of date after just a couple of years. Because previously, anywhere I went, if there was any amount of people, I could easily make $100 to $200. That would not be like, wow, I did great, but just like some random store for a few hours, some crappy Comic-Con, you know, I could count on making $100 to $200. So if the table was cheap enough, like $60, and I made $150, it's like, okay, I made like $90 for half a day. That's not bad. It was worth coming out, you know, kind of thing. I don't know if I can count on that anymore. I'm hoping I make $100 because that'll cover my cost and give me like $40 to cover gas, time, the coffee. I'll $100 is breaking even though the table is $60. I'm considering $100 breaking even. Anything over that is money that's going to go help refill my art account, which has been empty as I've talked about. Yeah, what I would consider a good night would be if I make $300 to $400. Anything over that, I'll lose my mind because I didn't even bring enough prints to do that really. But yeah, 5 to 9, so it's 4 hours. So if I make $50 an hour, that's a $200. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I just don't know. But I was excited to do this, knowing that it would be a little bit difficult and knowing that I would probably not make much money. Because just getting out there is fun. Having nighttime stuff is fun. I know one of the vendors personally for a couple of years, and she is going to be right behind me / across from me, so that'll be cool. I'll have somebody to chat with, watch my booth if I need to go, and yeah, and just see how it goes. Because if it's garbage and I don't do well, okay, well I tried and now I can scratch it off my list. And if it goes well, then hey, I can start doing this on the regular. But because of the work stuff going on, I haven't had time to do anything but watch the kid and try to get my commissions done and like catch up on housework that we were both behind on. And so I hadn't had time to really think about this. And now it's like, oh, here we're going, I'm going, here we go. I don't feel prepared at all. I wish I wasn't doing it. I'm kind of burnt out. I'm not really burnt out, but I'm just like, it's instead of being this fun thing that I'm looking forward to, it's like, I got to do this today. And I'm hoping once I get there, my perspective will shift. Because again, I'm not even worrying about making a ton of money, but I thought I'd have some fun. And now I'm not even sure if I could do that. But anyway, I'm going there now. I forgot I had on these Crocs when I had to run back in the house instead of putting on my boots or real shoes, which right now doesn't matter too much, but probably when it gets cold later it will. Dope. 317. This is about half of what I got. That's the canopy. There are no sandbags, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I was shocked. I got here at 3, and I'm like the late one. This is very different than Artist Alley at a Comic-Con. This is the lane you're allowed to drive up this way, but only on this side, and then I guess we just drive out the front. So luckily, it was all the way back there. My spot's there, so I wasn't too far from it. But I also realized that like the type of hand truck I usually use would not work on this at all. So yeah, the whole thing is just a whole different vibe. So this is my parking spot is like a 30-second walk. I can almost see my car. So I brought a vest and some gloves and a coat because I was warned it was going to be very cold later. It's not cold at all right now. It's borderline hot. I also brought even a portable heater since I'll have power, but I left all that in the car. as well as my iPad, but I put that underneath a panel where the spare tire is. So basically somebody would have to steal my whole car to get it. So now I'm gonna go sit up. And it's 3:26, so it took me about 20 minutes to unload everything and repark my car. Here's my spot. It's weird also because everybody has a 10 by 10 spot, but there's nothing lined out or numbered. So it's a lot of kind of sort of guessing and figuring you're doing it right. So I've never put one of these up before, and yeah, and it feels like it. It's progressing like I've never done it before. I also found a bee, which wouldn't be a big deal, and it isn't a big deal. But day before yesterday, I got stung by a bee on my hand, and I don't want that to happen again. 3:35. It's up. There were little clickies. I need to make it taller because I can't stand in this yet. All right, so I got this up, and I think in roughly the right spot because another vendor who I know is going to be behind me. That's my correct neighbor. There'll be another neighbor there. I thought we were going to be literally right next to each other, but it looks like there's a few feet in between. And so now I have to figure out, there's the band stage. Like, I'm right here. So I need to figure out where I'm going to put my backdrop. Like, I thought I'd put it there, but then that puts a wall between me and the person I know. But maybe that doesn't matter. I don't know. And then I got to move. In a normal con, I would set the tables up like this and have the backdrop behind me, and I'd sit there. But I'm wondering if it makes more sense to have a more open plan and have one here and one there. I don't know. All right, so when I did it catty corner, there's no way to get in there. I'm gonna have a wall there and another booth there. There is nowhere to get in except from the front. So I think I am gonna do sort of the U shape, and I think my back wall won't 100% cover. I think there'll be like a little opening for getting out and communication or whatever. Whew. Yeah, this is all new. It's windy. That's fine. That's fine. Got about 40 minutes left before people start coming in officially. By putting extra clips on the side, it did help the blowing. I do have these here, so I don't think it's gonna fall over. I have nothing for that, but a lot of people have nothing for that, so hopefully we're all gonna be fine. Well, it's all gonna be fine. This is fine. Fine. Fantastic, and I'm glad I saw it. I made an Etsy sale yesterday for Time Force Red. However, I sold and or gave away all of my Time Force Red prints at my last event. And I did plan on printing more, but getting just 10 prints is never a great thing. I could find a stray one around somewhere that I had missed, and I just saw that I put it on there for the display. Normally I don't sell display ones because they get beat up and stuff, but it had only been used for a few hours in the comic store the other day, so it's in perfect condition. So I saw it now, pulled it off, I'll throw something else on there, and that solves that problem. I also gotta remember to take it down off my Etsy store until I get it reprinted. About 15 minutes, kinda got that sorted. The light's not at all sorted. This is mildly presentable, and then there's this. So I gotta just hurry up and make this all look somewhat okay. Probably ditch 1 or 2 boxes, and just keep wearing my Crocs. Yeah. 5:04, music, people. It's weird because at most shows, it's like, oh, the door's open, and there's a flood even if it doesn't go to you. But here, people were already kind of meandering around. It's weird, I often wish I had more room for display, and now I do. I have 2 full tables, but like the book is usually my go-to, and I feel like now I'm like, should I even have it out? And I almost kind of want to put prints flat on the table, or I wish I had more racks. Usually I could barely fit one, or so I don't know. This is presentable. I'm gonna be working on it the whole time, and I need to figure out lights before it gets dark. All right, it's 5:30, and this is kind of the setup I'm going with right now. This is for people to look through. This is like my backstock, but I could also use it as a talking piece to let them know. This could be flipped through, I guess. This is my standard design. I decided to lay some prints here because I don't know what else to do with the space. That's my discount bin. Got the books. And yeah, I don't know. But so far it has been pretty dead. There's a couple people wandering around. Oh, there's somebody on stilts. But it's like dinner time, and so while there's activity, but there isn't a lot of people that are here to shop, at least not in this area yet. I am looking forward to getting a coffee from Press Espresso, even though I got one earlier. Too bad.
Back out without disrupting the all of those. Okay.
I thought this was the backing track that was playing, but yeah, not my type of music, but she's awesome. First time I've set this up. I've discontinued these on my Etsy shop. I had them for $5 for a long time. I sold a bunch, and then I just took them off because they were just, I don't know, eating up space and monthly fees. But I brought what I have left and put them in this $5 bin, and somebody bought 2 of those and 2 pins. And so that was my first sale at 6:08. So that's dinner. counting the fact that I still have to pay for my table. I also, he couldn't do cash or Venmo or PayPal or credit card, but he eventually, actually they did do Venmo, but he wanted to do tap to pay, which I've done before and could not remember how to do it through PayPal, and that's because you can't, it's through Square, and I realized this after he left, so smart. It's 7:06, and some of the illumination has started to come on there. They put theirs on. I didn't put mine on yet. It's funny because this singer has started taking requests and is doing like Frozen songs, and all the little kids are vibing to it. And I'm like, oh, you know, as nice as it is to be out on my own, if my kid was here, she'd be enjoying this. It's 7:06, which means we've been open for a little over 2 hours. I've made literally one sale. And I did just have another cup of coffee from Press Espresso and a bagel. That might be my dinner. I might have a little more snack later, but that's where we're at. Not too cold, not too cold. It's been nice to have a night out, but yeah, no crowds at all. None. All right, I turned on the lights. Right now it looks good. A little Christmas jams and my little ring lights. Who knows how that's gonna look when it gets dark, but there we are. 7:30. I'm looking for a warm treat. I was thinking maybe popcorn. There's a popcorn vendor that I see every Tuesday that I never buy from. I'm not seeing them now. There's the train. The train at night hits a little differently. Theoretically, we have an hour and a half left. It's interesting to see all the different lighting solutions, like everything from a little battery stick up to a full generator. I definitely don't need the generator like I have. That's a bit much. There's a puppy thing over here somewhere. Unless they already closed it down, like a puppy adoption thing. Yeah, I don't know where it went. Oh, I like that little neon Kelsey's Corner sign. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like this aisle is similar to what we have, where it's not the main aisle, so it's a little less desirable. That coffee and bagel were good, but what I really wanted was like cheese fries, and I don't know if they sell them here, but oh, there's the puppies. Hi, the pups. That's like Spuds McKenzie. All right, I think I'm almost back. Huh. I think the thing I thought was popcorn is like cotton candy. Okay. So I got some kettle corn. It's not the same as kettle potato chips, or they're crunchy. It's kind of sweet, not too sweet. Not what I really wanted, but I wanted something. The main disappointment is that it's not hot. I thought they were getting it hot off the thing, and it's just in a bag. Whoa. We're doing some opera. That's impressive. I don't know if she intends to have that strobe light or not. I was just looking at my table and I'm like, oh, I should put the turtles over here because they're more likely to sell. And then I moved that, and then I just heard the phrase in my head, rearranging the deck chairs in the Titanic, because that's what I'm doing. There's nothing happening. There's no moving this that'll save the night. I'm just like, nah, move this and we won't hit the iceberg. So the light's working pretty okay. Just remembered I brought this chair. I don't know why I bothered with that. I haven't sat down. Well, maybe once for like a second, I think, maybe. I'm still here. There's actually now a spot right in front of where I am packing up, maybe because I took a little longer. I'm carrying the Judy, because that's the single most expensive, easiest stealable thing, to my car, and I am going to drive around, because I think I can get that spot. Oh yeah, I had somebody, I'll tell you later, but yeah, that Ross is open till late, so I'm gonna go pack up the car and then park it again and try to buy some discount toys. I found out that Tech Advisor Arizuki apparently DoorDashed some Rita's Italian Ice and got me a cotton candy one, which is in the freezer. I don't know how good it'll be after being in the freezer for a few hours, but I'll make an attempt to eat it. I'll tell you that. So I went and got my car and pulled around. I took my Judy, but everything else is in a pile there, and most of the people that may have been watching it for me are probably gone already. And I know there's spots up there, but there's this traffic jam, and the people are just waiting to turn. And I'm like, well, I guess they're waiting to be at the back here, but I'm way up at the front, and the left lane is clear, so you can drive up. And I'm like, well, I'll go up the left lane, and get to my spot. And if there's not a spot, well, then I'll park and reassess. But somebody has a pickup truck that is parked in just exactly such a way that nobody could get in. It's blocking both lanes, and they're like loading their bags in. And so now we're all sitting here. You can't pull through, you can't look for another spot, you can't do anything because they just decided to park in such a way that nobody could get by them. And I hate their guts. I hate their guts. Okay, Ross, don't let me down. Give me a miracle. Ross was a bust. Going home to have that Italian ice. Yeah, so this pickup, it was like at the beginning of the line, but parked. It was in like a bad spot, but it was also parked like 5 feet over. And then these people are just Rudy toot and taking their sweet ass time to load stuff in. They weren't even next to their spot. Everybody hated them. I told them to move. They were already moving, but I felt good that I got to look them in the eye and be like, it's your fault, lady, man, people. Heading home. It's Saturday morning around 8 something, and it's raining and overcast, and it's kind of lovely to wake up to this. Yep, just barely fits.